Yes, the whole of okay.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
You can see that for the past weeks, our students are not in the school uniforms because of the sporting activities we are doing. So
Oh, okay. Yeah.
yes. So for the past weeks, we have been doing some sporting activities. That is why they are not in the school uniform. I hope you understand.
Yeah, it's okay. And may I ask, are these the same um people from last week, or are they like different?
And the same people, just that some few primary students have joined.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah, good. I made something.
so Jabin is starting the lesson. So keep quiet and listen. There will be questions that will follow up. Make sure you listen to whatever he's going to teach. And when he asks a question, make sure you answer. Esegoma. All right.
Okay. So today we're going to be learning about and reading about Aladdin, and it is a really classical story. So I hope you guys like it. So let's first watch the story as a video. So here it is, and you'll get a better sense of what the story is like once you watch the video. So
I used to think a holiday one-stop shop was a
There will be a
myth
story.
until I
There
found
will
my
be a
own
question
smoke
after that.
ring.
So make sure you listen. It's going to be in a video form, like last week. Uh-huh.
okay, so this video is
But
about 12 minutes, 13 minutes long. So I'm going to play this once, and after that, we will study some vocabulary and watch it again. So,
Aladdin and the Wonderful Lamp. Once upon a time,
yeah, so that was the story of Aladdin and the magic lamp. So I hope you guys liked it. So now we'll be getting into more of the vocabulary, and let's see how the vocabulary was used in the story. Okay, so the first word is tailor, and a tailor is someone who makes or changes clothes, especially to fit them perfectly for a person. And they adjust things like the length, width, to make sure the clothing fits just right for that person. So, for example, I took my new suit to the tailor so it would fit me perfectly for the wedding. So again, a tailor is someone who makes or changes the shape of the clothes. And here is how it is used in the story directly. Let's see it.
Anything on getting rid of a skunk yet?
Not yet. Still.
kingdom, there lived a poor tailor who had a son named Aladdin. There was a kingdom. There lived a poor tailor.
Kind of see, um, Aladdin's father was a tailor, and again, his job was to adjust and make clothes. That's who a tailor is. That was the first word. And the second word is unfortunately. And unfortunately is a word used when something happens in a way that is disappointing or not what you hoped for. So, for example, unfortunately, it started raining just as we are about to have our picnic. So, unfortunately is used in the beginning, usually, of the sentence, and it is used to describe something that is very disappointing or not what you hoped for. So let's look at how it is used in the story.
Unfortunately, when he was 16, his father passed away. Unfortunately, when he was 16, his father passed away.
It talked about, unfortunately, when Aladdin was 16, his father passed away. And this is kind of like an unfortunate moment because they didn't hope for it. It just happened. So that is very unfortunate. That's how we put it in a sentence, unfortunately. And then in the same kind of scene, you could see kind of like the phrase pass away. And pass away is a gentle way of saying that someone has died. And it's often used to talk about death in a softer and more respectful way. So, for example, my grandmother passed away peacefully in her sleep last night. So, again, pass away means simply just died. And here is the same scene that we've seen, but let's look at it again.
Unfortunately, when he was 16, his father passed away.
Again, here is the same sentence used for unfortunately, but it's unfortunate because his father has passed away or died. And the next word is demise. And demise is a formal or polite word for death, kind of like the death itself and not dying of a person. As we've seen from pass away, it's kind of different. And it's often used when talking about the end of someone's life or sometimes the end of something like an organization. And for example, the community mourned the demise of their beloved teacher, and demise, kind of the death of someone or something, the end of it.
Aladdin, I heard about your father's demise. I was not in the city at that time. I heard about your father's demise.
And here you can see how demise was used here, kind of like at the end of the sentence, where it means the death or the end of something. So that was demise. And the next word, kind of like a phrase, this is a phrasal verb. You can see on the top right, I highlighted it in yellow, and it's called come along. So come along means to go somewhere with someone or join someone on a trip or activity. So for example, we're going to the park. Do you want to come along? And again, come along, just going somewhere together and going somewhere with another person specifically. That is to come along. And can any of you make a sentence using the phrasal verb come along? If anyone wants to try that.
Come along with your parents tomorrow.
Can you repeat that, please? Come
Come,
along.
come along with your parents tomorrow.
Oh yeah, I heard come along with your parents to home or to anywhere. So yeah, that would be a good sentence. kind of like coming along with your parents to go somewhere. And that means going somewhere to going somewhere with your parents. So that is a good use of come along. And let's move on to the next word, which is tremble. And tremble means to shake lightly, and it's often because of fear, cold, or any strong emotion. So, for example, she began to tremble with excitement as she waited for her turn to perform. So, here are two images of people trembling. And here is the part of the video where this word is used. So, let's quickly see this.
The ground trembled and split away. From below the ground, the ground trembled and split.
Here, the word is used to describe kind of like the ground, the ground's action as it trembled and split away. Again, tremble here, the ground kind of shaked all of a sudden and kind of started splitting away. And that was tremble, means to shake, and fear, cold, or strong emotion. And the next word is instantly. And instantly means happening immediately without any delay. So, for example, the fire alarm went off and everyone instantly ran outside. Usually, instant would mean on the spot on that exact moment, but instantly here, it can also mean happening very quickly. So, once the fire alarm was set off, everyone just quickly ran outside. It's really synonymous to that. So here is how it is used in the story.
Anything, or you will die instantly. Keep walking. Find a garden of fine fruit trees. Go through them without touching anything, or you will die instantly.
So this kind of suppose that Aladdin's uncle was talking about how he shouldn't touch anything or he will die instantly, meaning that he will die very soon after he touches anything. That's what he's talking about. Immediately, without any delay. Here is another phrasal verb, and this one is hand over, handing over. So, hand over means to give something to someone else, usually with your hands. So, for example, please hand over the documents when you're finished with them. So, again, handing over here means to give anything to someone else, and usually with their hands, of course. And let's quickly look at it, how it is used in the story, and you guys can also make a sentence. So,
Come on, hand over the lamp to me.
Waiting.
Come on, hand over the lamp to me.
so kind of like this magician was talking about how Aladdin should hand over the lamp to him. So again, handing over, using your hands to give something, here in this case, a lamp, to someone else. In this case, his uncle. So can anyone make a sentence out of hand over, using hand over? Does anyone want to try that?
Hand over the key to the girl.
Can you repeat that one more?
Hand over the key to that lady.
Oh, yeah, I think I heard hand over the gift they made. And yeah, that would be a good use of hand over. Um, maybe you're talking to someone else. Maybe you hand over the gift to me. It's mine. So you can say something like that. And the next, I have one more kind of like a phrasal verb, and it's shouldn't have, and you add a something called past participle. And here it means PP just means past participle, which is a verb talking about things that already happened. So here shouldn't have the first part is used to talk about something you did in the past that you now feel was a mistake or not the right choice. So, for example, I shouldn't have eaten so much cake at the party. Um, Here is kind of like a video of where it is used.
Uncle! I shouldn't have believed that man. Out! Uncle! Uncle! I shouldn't have believed that man.
Here, Aladdin is talking about how he shouldn't have believed that man. And it shouldn't have, and then a past participle, believed, and again, past participle, something that happened in the past, like a verb, and then you can just add shouldn't have at the beginning. And it would mean that something that a person did that the person feels a mistake about or not the right choice. So, can anyone make a sentence out of shouldn't have format? If anyone wants to try that.
I shouldn't have believed him. I shouldn't have followed him to the market.
Can you repeat that, please? I shouldn't have.
I shouldn't have followed him to the market.
Oh, yeah, that is the right sentence. So I shouldn't have followed him to the market. And here maybe you're talking about how a person regrets from following him to the market. So yes, that is a good use of shouldn't have, kind of like regretting something and feeling that it was a mistake or not the right choice. So that was shouldn't have. The next word here is astonish. And astonish means to surprise or shock someone greatly, often because of something unexpected or amazing. So, for example, the magician's tricks astonish the audience. And here, astonished again means just to surprise or shock someone really greatly. Especially because it was unexpected. It's astonish. And let's look at the video where it is used.
Lamp.
Aladdin and his mother were astonished. Mother.
Since you hold the lamp.
Aladdin and his mother were astonished.
You can also kind of hear the sound effects, like you can hear that they were very surprised. So you can kind of get a sense that astonish means to be surprised or shocked greatly because it was very unexpected for the genie to come out of the lamp. It was astonishing. So that was the word astonish. And the next kind of phrase is called a dozen of.
Hello, Jimmy.
Yes. Sorry, what did you say? Hello.
Respond. How many?
Do you want me to wait a minute?
Yeah. A minute.
Okay.
minutes. Connected by no. JB, can you speak and let me hear?
Hello?
All right. You can continue.
Okay. So, maybe starting back from astonish if you didn't hear it correctly. Again, kind of reviewing astonish means to kind of
I think you should go back to the first one, the previous one.
this one or which
Yeah,
one?
this one. No, the next one, astonish. Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, we can start from astonish again. So, this word astonish means to surprise or shock someone greatly, and it's often because of something unexpected or amazing. So, for example, the magician's trick astonished the audience or people. So here again, astonish means to shock someone really greatly because, especially because it was unexpected. And let's look at the video and see where it is used.
Amp.
Aladdin and his mother were astonished. Mother asked Genie for a
So you can kind of hear in this sense how astonished they were because they gasped. You can hear how astonished they sounded. And again, astonish means to surprise or shock so greatly because it was unexpected. Okay. So the next word here, and it's a dozen of. And a dozen of this phrase refers to a group or set of 12 things. And it's often used to talk about items and quantities. So, a dozen again kind of refers to a group of 12, and it can also mean just a bunch of. So, for example, she bought a dozen of eggs from the store. And here below down is an image of a dozen of eggs. And you can kind of count one by one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You can see there are 12 eggs in this carton. And here is just a dozen because a dozen usually means 12. But you can also see kind of on the right, dozen can mean just a bunch of. So there is a dozen of flowers. You can use to describe that as well. And let's look at this video.
So what is ClickUp? ClickUp is an all-in-one productivity software where you can manage everything and
Immediately, Genie brought a dozen silver plates to the dining table. Immediately, Genie brought a dozen silver plates to the dining table.
And here you can see how dozen is used. Again, like I said, dozen does not specifically have to be 12. It can just mean a bunch of or a lot of a group of things. So the genie brought quite a lot of silver plates for the feast. So that is a dozen of and the phrase. Now let's move on to the word satisfaction. And satisfaction refers to a feeling of pleasure or happiness that comes from achieving something or having your needs or desires met. So, for example, she smiled with satisfaction after finishing the project. And here, satisfaction means feeling pleasure or happiness because she achieved something. And what she achieved was her finishing the project. And she was very satisfied with that, or felt a feeling of happiness because she finished the project. That is the word satisfaction. And let's look at where this word is used in story. So let's take a look at this.
More. Aladdin and his mother ate the food to their satisfaction. Much more. Aladdin and his mother ate the food to their satisfaction.
So you can see how the word is used. Aladdin and his mom ate all the foods in satisfaction. Again, satisfaction is like the feeling of happiness and pleasure because they had their needs met. Their needs were kind of completed. They were really hungry at first, but because of the feast, they are not anymore, and they were satisfied with that. Now, moving on to the next word, it's necessary. So necessary means something that is needed to or required for a particular purpose or situation. So for example, it is necessary to study for the exam if you want to do well. And the opposite of this is unnecessary. You can add un, and make it unnecessary, and it becomes quite the opposite meaning, something that is not required. So you can see in the picture, the bottom left, the person studying is necessary for the exam if she wants to do well. And playing video games, you can see here, it is unnecessary because it is not needed to perform well on the exam. Let's look at the video and see how this word is used, the word necessary.
We handcraft every Stearns & Foster.
One day, Aladdin plates in the market and bought necessary things to live. Mother sold the plates in the market and bought necessary things to live.
See how the mother bought the necessary things to live? That means she didn't buy any unnecessary things. She just bought things that were necessary or needed for life. So she didn't really waste money. She spent only on the things that she felt was necessary or needed. That was the word necessary. And moving to the next word, it's beheaded. And beheaded usually is kind of like a form of execution, meaning that maybe somebody did something wrong and they needed to be executed. This was kind of done in the past. And it means to have someone's head cut off. So it used this device at the bottom. You can see here. It's called the guillotine. And you can see how persons, they're headed and they die because they did something maybe really bad, or they insulted the king or the queen. So this is kind of like the form of execution used in the past. And for example, the king was beheaded for his crimes. So let's see how it is used in the story.
Road! The person who ever looks at the princess will be beheaded!
Princess?
Road! The person who ever looks at the princess will be beheaded!
This kind of messenger here is, he's talking about how whoever looks at the princess will be beheaded. And here, maybe he's talking about how even looking at the princess is a sort of offense, maybe. And whoever looks at her will be beheaded because that may be considered a crime. And again, it's a form of execution used in the past, or execution meaning someone dying because of maybe a crime, say. And that was beheaded. And the next word here is mesmerize. And mesmerize means to hold someone's attention completely, often in a way that is magical or even captivating. So, for example, the dancer's performance mesmerized the audience. So, you can kind of see these pictures at the bottom. They are mesmerized, kind of like by the beauty of the lights, or even on the right, directly captivating, kind of eye spiraling, meaning that he is completely captivated by something. Let's look at the video and how it is used in the story. Let's see.
Billy, I brought you here so you can meet your new.
Aladdin was mesmerized by her beauty.
Wow.
Aladdin was mesmerized by her beauty.
You can kind of see Aladdin was mesmerized with her beauty. So again, you can kind of see the hearts in its eyes. You can see how mesmerized he was, or his eyes were kind of captivated. It was captured, and kind of describes how someone's attention can be captivated by something else. And that was mesmerize. And the next word is peculiar. And peculiar, this word means something that is very strange, unusual, or different from what is normal. So, for example, she noted a peculiar smell coming from the kitchen. And you can also see two pictures here at the bottom. On the left, maybe this is like a peculiar costume because he's kind of wearing a watermelon hat. That is definitely something extreme and not normal and different, something strange, something unusual. And on the right, you can see how this one person stands out because it's maybe different from what is being normal. And that is peculiar. And here is how it is used in the story. So let's take a look.
And showed the peculiar fruit-shaped jewels to the Sultan. She unwrapped the cloth and showed the peculiar fruit-shaped jewels to the Sultan.
So Aladdin's mother showed the peculiar fruit-shaped jewels to the Sultan. And you can see that it's describing the jewels as something different, maybe something new, because maybe the Sultan has never seen these type of jewels before. And again, these peculiar jewels, it can use to describe even an object, something that is very strange and unusual. And yeah, that was peculiar. And the next word is splendid. And splendid means something that is very impressive, excellent, or beautiful. So, for example, the view from the mountain was absolutely splendid. You can see on the bottom right picture, this view of a mountain is very splendid. It's amazing. It's very impressive. It's excellent. It's very beautiful. And those kind of words can be used for splendid. And you can even see in this video. Let's take a look at how it is used in the story.
Skunk really got her.
Yep.
You know your Chrome.
But your son must build a splendid palace to live me again. But your son must build a splendid palace to live with my daughter.
So Sultan is talking about how Aladdin should build a splendid palace. Not just a normal one, but a splendid one. And it means something amazing, very impressive, and excellent and beautiful. So the Sultan wants Aladdin to build a very impressive, an amazing castle for her daughter in order to marry her. So that is splendid. The next word is visible, and visible means something that can be seen or is able to be seen with our eyes. And invisible, it's kind of mean the opposite. Again, adding un or in at the beginning kind of makes the opposite meaning. In this case, in for visible. Invisible means not being able to be seen. But visible here, focusing on that, here's what can be seen. So, for example, the stars were clearly visible in the night sky. So again, the stars can be seen with our own eyes. It was visible. Now, so let's look at the video, how it is used in the story.
It was visible from the Sultan's window. The genie's palace overnight. It was visible from the Sultan's window.
Described how the palace, the splendid castle that Aladdin and the genie built was visible from the Sultan's window, meaning that it was be able to be seen from Sultan's window. Again, kind of meaning be able to be seen with our own eyes, and it's visible. The next word is deserve. So deserve means to be worthy of something because of your actions, quality, or situation. So for example, after all his work, he deserved a vacation. You can see kind of on the left, he earned many awards, he kind of studied hard, and he did everything really well. And now he kind of deserves a vacation. This person is worthy of receiving something because he did something very nice, very impressive. We can see how this word is used in the video.
Yourself. You deserve my daughter as your wife. You have proved yourself. You deserve my daughter as your wife.
The Sultan is talking about how Aladdin deserves his daughter as his wife, because Aladdin followed all the Sultan's requirements. Again, remember he brought 40 slaves with the tray of all the jewels, and he even built a splendid castle. And now, because of that, Aladdin deserves his daughter. So he deserves the princess, meaning that he was worthy of marrying the princess. So that is how deserve can be used. The next word here is disguise. And disguise means to change the appearance of something or someone so that they are not recognized, so that you cannot tell who that person is. So, for example, he wrote a mask to disguise his identity at the park. You can see at the bottom pictures, these person kind of like wearing a disguise gear, possibly. You can see the sunglasses, the fake mustache, the fake beard. You can see that these people are disguising or changing your appearance so that they are not recognized. And let's see how this word was used in the story.
Kingdom. He disguised himself as a lamp seller. Went to Aladdin's kingdom. He disguised himself as a lamp seller.
So this kind of magician, evil uncle, was he disguised himself as a lamp seller. So he hid his identity because Aladdin would recognize him, and he didn't want that. So that's why he disguised himself as a lamp seller in order to trick them.
Are you listening?
Okay, so disguise again, meaning changing the appearance maybe of yourself, so that you're not recognized. So that is disguise. Here, the next kind of phrase is make a deal with. And here, make a deal with means to come to an agreement or an arrangement with someone, often through discussion or negotiation. So, for example, they decided to make a deal with the landlord to lower the rent. So, maybe possibly the tenant and the landlord, they kind of made an agreement, make a deal with them in order to lower the rent price. So you can see how make a deal with can be used, again, to come to an agreement with someone. And let's see how it is used in the story.
She took the magic lamp and made a deal with the magician. Long time. She took the magic lamp and made a deal with the magician.
You can see how Princess made a deal with the lamp dealer, and again, he is the uncle in disguise. But the princess didn't know that, and she made a deal to switch the old lamp to a new one, coming to an agreement. And actually, for this phrase, make a deal with, can anyone make a sentence using this phrase? Make a deal with? If anyone wants to try this, you can come up and speak. Yeah.
He made a deal with the officer.
Maybe you can elaborate on that, kind of like say more. Why did he make a deal with the officer? Can you explain? Maybe.
To offer him a job.
No, between the sentence.
He made a deal with the officer to offer him a job.
So yeah, that is a good sentence. Yeah, maybe I made a deal with the officer to offer him a job, maybe a different job. If you're maybe a job recruiter and going to different people, maybe you, like you said, you can make a deal with the officer, or if it's in the past, you made a deal with the officer to offer him a job. Yeah, that is a good sentence. And yeah, we can move on to the next word, the incident. And the word incident means an event or something that happens, often something unexpected or unusual, and sometimes a problem or conflict. So, for example, the incident at the airport caused a delay for all passengers. You can see kind of at the bottom here, it's like an incident here happening at the left, and again on the right as well, kind of like something or event that happens in an unexpected way. And let's see how it is used in the story.
Princess told him all about the incident.
Don't.
Princess told him all about the incident.
The princess kind of told him all about the incident and the problem that happened. So that was kind of incidents, the problems that was unexpected. The next word is victim. And here, victim means a person who has been harmed, hurt, or affected by something bad, such as a crime, accident, or disaster. So you can see, for example, the victim of the robbery reported the incident to the police. So this kind of uses two words from our vocabulary, victim and incident, like we just talked about. And here you can see there are two people. They're both the victims. They were the ones being hurt, harmed, or affected by this action. And you can see, let's see how it is used in the story.
Which makes the victim unconscious. Potion bottle. It was a potion which makes the victim unconscious.
So Aladdin gave her a potion, and this potion, kind of like a solution, was to make a victim unconscious. And the victim is the person who is being affected. The person who drinks the potion is the victim. And they are the people who are affected by this effect of the potion. So they are the victim. That is the word. And the next word is unconscious. And unconscious means not awake or not aware of things happening around you, often because of injury, illness, or fainting. So, for example, he was knocked unconscious after slipping on the ice. So, again, unconscious here is kind of like the opposite meaning. A conscious, removing the UN again, because adding UN makes it opposite. But you can also make it conscious, meaning awake. But unconscious here, it means not awake or not aware of things. So let's see how it is used in the story.
Which makes the victim unconscious.
So it's kind of in the same line as the victim, and it kind of makes sense because the potion makes the victim unconscious, meaning that the person is not dead, but the person is not aware of things that are happening. Unconscious doesn't mean the person died. It just means the person is not able to remember anything at that moment because they are unconscious. And the next word is numb. And numb means unable to feel anything, either physically, like maybe losing your sensation in certain parts of your body, or even emotionally, like feeling detached from emotions because of a shock or stress. So, for example, her fingers were numb from the cold. You can see kind of here, the fingers being numb, meaning that you cannot feel anything on your fingers because it has lost any sensation. You cannot feel anything because it is numb. And let's see how the story uses this word.
Slowly, and he numbed down on the table. The magician eyelids were closing slowly, and he numbed down on the table.
Here is kind of used not directly meaning not feeling anything. Maybe here he numbed down, meaning that he kind of everything physically felt a loss of sensation and he kind of fell down. He numbed down. That was the word numb. And this is the final and last word for today. The vocabulary is cunning, and cunning means being clever or skillful in a trickery or a sneaky way, often to achieve something through deception or tricking someone. So it's very clever in a sense, he's smart in a sense that is evil. So, for example, the fox is often seen as a cunning animal in stories. So the fox is often depicted as cunning because maybe of its shape. I'm not too sure about that, but the fox is often seen as skillful in a sneaky way. Let's look at the video and see how the word is used.
Leave this cunning magician somewhere deep in the desert so that he can't find his way out again. Take us to the Sultan's kingdom along with our palace. Leave this cunning magician somewhere deep in the desert.
Aladdin is saying to the genie that he should leave the cunning magician deep in the desert so that he cannot be found because the magician is very cunning. And again, cunning means clever or skillful in a sneaky or evil way. That is the word cunning. And yeah, this was kind of all the vocabulary, and we will kind of view them slowly one by one. And I'm not just going over the definition, but reminding you of all the words that we have learned today or any phrases. Let's see. Okay, we started with Taylor. Moved on to unfortunately. Next is pass away. Next is demise. Next is come along. Tremble. Instantly. Hand over. Shouldn't have. And a past participle. A verb in the past. Shouldn't have something. Astonish. A dozen of. Satisfaction. Necessary or unnecessary, meaning the opposite. Beheaded. Mesmerize. Peculiar. Splendid. Visible. And opposite meaning invisible. Deserve. Disguise. And kind of you can also make it opposite by adding undisguised. And make a deal with. Incident. Victim. Unconscious. Numb. Finally, cunning. It's the last word that we learned for today. And yeah, keeping all these vocabularies in mind, let's rewatch the story for one last time. And I hope you guys are able to follow along with the vocabulary that you learned. So let's watch it once.
Energizer 3-in-1 Child Shield.
Aladdin and the Wonderful Lamp.
So yeah, this was once again the story of Aladdin and the magic lamp. That was the story. And yeah, thank you everyone for listening today. And do you guys have any questions that maybe you guys didn't understand some vocabulary words there?
He was asking a question. Any questions, any suggestions for next week? If you have any suggestion, any question, go and ask question on him. Hello, if you have any question or any suggestion? Type. What to type? David.
Yes.
Somebody want to type. So let me. He said he want to type his question. So let me give you the chance to type. Yeah, so you can type your question. What do you want to type? So type it. Type what you want to type. Link it. So just type. One thing. You don't want next week is a different topic. Is it a question or a suggestion? Hurry up. Yo. Yeah, we are almost close. We are almost. Yeah, the last one. Huh? Yo. Is that your suggestion? Is it a film or what? Huh? Not sure. Whatever you see, yeah, I'll type it for you. In your real.
For that suggestion, let me see.
A film.
I think I said it last time. I think those are kind of like a film, and they are kind of not suitable for today's like an hour meeting. So maybe I can suggest some stories to you, and it would be good. And it would be kind of good for you guys to listen to news stories. So I have two suggestions. One is Alibaba and the 40 Thieves, or Jack and the Beanstalk. So which two do you guys maybe prefer? The Alibaba and 40 Thieves or Jack and the Beanstalk? Or do you want me to choose one?
You hear what he said? So choose one. Alibaba. Okay. David.
Yes.
They prefer the Alibaba.
Okay, so for next time we can watch the Alibaba and 40 Thieves. And sorry I can't do the suggestion because it's probably too long. Um Maybe the movie itself is maybe too long, but I will if there are any like shorter stories that um the children may prefer, then they can just tell me in the next class.
Okay.
And
All right.
also we have a story of Little Mermaid. And I think there is a short version of Little Mermaid, so does anyone want to hear that instead?
Story about what?
Okay,
We're talking about a story about what?
so I'm typing like the possibilities. Um so I typed in kind of like the three options that I've said. Um Originally it was just the first two. But I just added Little Mermaid if anyone wants to watch that instead.
Okay. Yes, so as you can see on the screen, we have three stories there. Alibaba and the 40 Thieves, Jack and the Beanstalk, and then Little Mermaid. They are all stories about comprehension. So, you want the first one? Okay. Maybe I think they prefer the first one, which is Alibaba and the 40 Thieves.
Okay, so we can do that for next week. And yeah, I will,
All right.
yeah, come prepared for that and maybe show more suggestions next week too. So,
Okay, but Jebin, on the timetable you provided, I think you have some algebra lessons as well as some other topics. But
so
are we not going to treat those topics again?
I'm not sure which ones will be more helpful. For now, I was thinking about continuing the reading and listening comprehension. Um, but if they want to move on to math, then just tell me if they want to. Or we can continue English lessons as well. So it's up to you.
Okay.
Or like you can just
Okay,
tell
so
me.
let me find out. Hello? Yes, so we're talking about the algebra lessons, algebra, mathematics. You want to also teach mathematics as well as the comprehension, the English that you are already doing. So we want to know if you are continue with the English lessons or we should halt that one and then do some little algebra. Which one do you prefer? Would you continue with the English lessons? All right. So I think they are okay with the English lessons. They are
So we
okay with the comprehension lessons.
okay,
Yes.
next week we can continue with the Alibaba and the 40 Thieves. And yeah, like and for
Okay.
algebra, we can maybe start on it next year, next semester. Maybe we can continue just doing um listening and English for this year. Just continue for the rest of
Okay.
this, and we can move
All
on
right.
to mathematics and science, and computer science, in January next year.
All right. All right. Okay.
Okay.
That's cool.
Mhm.
That's cool.
All right. So yeah, thank you everyone for listening, and yeah, I'll see everyone next week.
All right. It looks like you are feeling cold. Is it cold over there?
Yes, it's pretty cold outside for us.
Oh, okay, all right. We are feeling very hot. We are feeling hot over here. Very, very hot.
Oh,
Okay, all right.
all right,
Thank you for your time.
yeah, thank you. And I'll see all of you next week then.
All right, all right.
All right, bye.
Have a nice day. Yeah. He's waiting you. My people, you know where the hey, my people.